Good morning. There's a story in the Bible that you might be familiar with. It's the story of a rich and wealthy landowner who decided to go on vacation for a few years. So he called his three most trusted servants into his office, and he said, I'm going to divide everything I have three ways, and I'm entrusting each of you with a third of it. When I come back, I expect you to give an accounting of what I've given you. So a few years passed by, and the rich dude came home, and he called all three guys in front of him. First guy stepped forward proudly and said, here's what you gave me. Good news, boss. I tripled it. The boss beamed at him from over his desk. As the Bible says, he says, well done, good and faithful servant. Second guy stepped forward, confidently with a grin on his face, said, boss, here's what you gave me. I went out and doubled it. Boss sat back in his chair and smiled, rubbed his hands together. Again, well done, good and faithful servant. Well, the third guy stepped forward. He kind of shuffled his feet, looked at the ground a bit, looked up at the boss, and he said, well, good news is, here's what you gave me. I didn't lose any of it. I didn't gain any of it like these guys did. I went out and I buried it so it'd be safe. So here it is. And I can imagine the rich landowner sitting back in his chair, looking up at the ceiling, kind of shaking his head. And the Bible uses different words. I think he probably told the guy, you just don't get it. I entrusted you with some of my wealth. I expected you to use it. I have that passage bookmarked in my Bible. I know it reads a little differently. You might be sitting there going, what Bible do you read? That there's a guy in a leather chair staring at the ceiling. And the reason I bookmark it is every time I get to feeling selfish, unhappy, like I want to take everything I've been given and bury it because the world's a cruel, mean place to live in, I go to that passage. And I think about everything I've been given. Do you know we're born happy? Yeah. Don't believe me? Why do we enjoy being around babies so much? I was riding my bike before I made this video this morning, and I was thinking about how to put all this together as the thoughts kind of raced through my mind, and I thought, it's interesting. When we talk to a baby, we talk in a real soft, soothing voice, and babies can't see. They can detect light and darkness, and as they get older, their visual acuity, if you will, develops. But babies can't see. They move towards sound and light. And when they hear a nice, soothing, wonderful sound, they grin, and we pick them up and we hug them, and we get this just wonderful feeling inside of ourselves. Don't believe me? Next time in your grocery store, when you're walking around, look at a toddler sitting in the grocery cart and look at how he smiles at you and kind of waves at you or says hi to you. Hasn't learned any of those barriers yet, any of those precautions. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those things, there aren't things in this world that can't hurt us, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't learn to, like, for example, not stick our finger in a flame. But for the most part, our unhappiness is acquired. We work real hard at making our kids happy. I got to make sure they got clean clothes, good shoes, a nice school to go to. Make sure they got 3 square, healthy meals a day. Got to make sure my husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend is happy, because if they're not, then, the whole world ain't happy. Got to make sure the person next to me at work is happy, because it sure makes the day go quicker. And by the end of the day, we're kind of like that guy who took his talent and everything he had and buried it. Very little time, very little energy left for making me and you happy. And we almost feel guilty, don't we? Well, I don't, John, come real close. I don't deserve to be happy. How come? Well, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. Well, so have I. Oh, but not the kind I did. Okay, well, you want to take off our belts and see whose is longer? A mistake is a mistake is a mistake. Oh, but I've made some really poor decisions. Okay. What about the decisions you have before you today? Is that very first decision to be happy? Okay, kind of easy to say, John. How do I get there? What are your talents? One of the things that I just love looking at is the background on your Spark pages, because a lot of you are gardeners. And let me put it to you this way. I enjoy flowers and fruits and vegetables, and every spring I'm like everybody else. I get out there with Joan and I help plant, and it smells wonderful and looks wonderful. Gardening is something I enjoy, but it's not my main talent. And I look at some of your Spark pages and just the beautiful plants and trees and flowers. I think, oh, wow. I don't get angry about that. It's something there for me to admire, like you. It's a talent. It's a gift you have. We spend so much time comparing ourselves to other people that we end up, anyone, I've always wanted to say this, Bueller, we end up miserable. We walk around, we compare ourselves to our neighbors, to our friends, to our coworkers, to the people we go to church with. We always come up lacking. Where's happiness on your priority list today? Where is it? It should be number one. What am I going to do today to make myself a little happier than when I got up in the morning? Oh, but John, if I showed you my schedule for today or the things I have before me, I'm not being Pollyannish here. Because sometimes the real key and the real secret to making ourselves happy is kind of the second line of that optimist creed that I shared a little bit with you last week, and it's to promote peace, happiness, and joy wherever you can and in everyone you meet. I'm kind of paraphrasing there. Please don't tell the optimists. Sometimes the greatest happiness you and I can get comes from extending a hand to another person, like you've done to me. See, you helped me become happy. Oh, you would have got it eventually, maybe. But I don't like waiting around for eventually. Take a deep breath, sip your coffee, tea, Diet Coke, water, beverage of choice this morning, and think about all the lives you impact in a very positive way. And then take that little sachet, if you will, and carry it with you. Because just remember, you're worth every ounce of it. Have a great Spark day, and have a wonderful weekend.